Hi everyone! Welcome back to 21st Century Literature subject. For our first topic, we'll be dealing with lesson 101, the nature of literature. So let's start now. So these are the topics to be learned on the nature of literature. First, what is reading? Second, what are the reasons of reading? Third, what is literature? Fourth, why study literature? Fifth, what are the key features of literature? So let's start now. Reading is basically the manner on how are we going to deal with literature. Literally, reading is about examining and grasping the meaning of written or printed materials read from characters, words, or sentences, or by uttering or rendering sounds aloud from written and printed are basically under reading. Structurally, we do have also definition in reading, wherein it involves three processes: the recognition, the comprehension, and the fluency. Anyway, you have learned already this concept way back in your reading and writing subject, right? Okay, so let's now proceed. So, why do we read? What are the reasons why do we read? First, we try to read because we want to acquire understanding among relevant information. Getting what you want from the things that you need. Another, you try to read because you want to be entertained by those magazines, by those comics, and be amused on what you are reading and divert yourself and attention from reality. Another is satisfying one's curiosity. You become satisfied based on what you are reading because you have questions in your mind. That's why you are being satisfied. Another one is uplifting cultural understanding. You become open-minded on others' culture and others' perspective because of reading. Another reason also is you escape from reality. You divert and then try to travel to another world because of reading. Next would be fulfilling one's desires and aspiration. You fulfill your dreams whenever you read because you try to portray another character that is in your mind only. Okay? Another thing is, man has the power to enrich his experiences and to explore the world. And man becomes powerful in terms of knowledge and information, in terms of experiences also. That is basically learned from the readings that she had. So, like Filipinos, we try to read also. And these are our reasons. First, we read for leisure. Second, we learn more or new things. Third, we want to keep up with current events. Fourth, we want to improve reading ability, grammar comprehension, and vocabulary. As you see there into the presentation, there is a bit difference in terms of the interest of youth and in terms of the interest of adults, in terms of the reasons of reading. And who are the people that encourage us to read? The first one are our parents way back when we were so young. Because parents think that when we try to read, we are being intelligent, academically inclined, and we try to divert our attention from these gadgets. That's why they venture us from reading. And definitely, they say that in reading, there's knowledge. So knowledge is power, so something like that. Another one is the person that encourage us from reading are our teachers. Because when we try to read, we try to learn. And when we learn, definitely, we become successful and reach our dreams. Okay? So, that's it. This is from 2017 NBDB Readership Survey results. So these are the top 5 most popular books Filipinos read. For the youth, we do have the picture books, short story, encyclopedia, Bible, and leisure. While for adults, we do have the Bible, picture, short story, romance, encyclopedia. They vary based on the age level and also based on their interest. Okay? So let's now proceed. So what do you usually read? Like the ones that I told you a while ago. It can either be, we try to read comics, magazines, manuals, newspapers, poetry, travel brochures, encyclopedias, sport programs, catalogs, or the recipes, the dictionaries, the play scripts, atlases, road signs, or even your Facebook posts, news stories, Instagram, and other things. And do you know that all these things, all these stuffs can be into a form of literature? Yes, they are forms of literature. In line with that, since they are forms of literature, definitely the things that we're gonna be dealing with literature are more of readings. So why do we need to study and what is the definition and what is the meaning of literature? Literature is derived from literatura, which means writing, from literatus, and from literatus, learning. So which means literature is about learning from the written outputs or the written materials. So another one is literature. It covers both oral and written. It can either be oral or it can either be written. Oral literature are more of into your coming from your word mouth, okay? While for the other one, which is about written forms, are basically what is on the printed one or what is on the piece of paper. So this oral literature was very popular way back with the ancestral time and all. So another thing, literature takes significant human experiences as its main subject. Writers and authors, their inspiration in writing are their own experiences. They make hugot in putting into their literature the experience that they had, struggles, happiness, and pains, and put it into literature. Another one is it mainly discusses various dimensions of life, as well as its miseries and glories. In literature, they don't only give you the positivities of life, but also they give you the negativities of life. But the negativities, they try to put strength on it and give moral values to the audience. Okay? So we do have other different views about literature. The next one would be literature mainly provide a unique depiction of life, which is different from what science provide. Like for example, the evolution of man. Evolution of man into science is about the Charles Darwin theory. But in literature, we do have different versions depending on who created that one. Is it from region 1, region 2? So different regions may have unique stories of the creation of man. Next one is literature as a general term used for poetry, fiction, and drama. So when we hear the word poetry, fiction, or drama, we always incorporate it with literature. Actually, this poetry, fiction, and drama are just forms of literature. So why do we need to study literature? Why is it written and included into your curriculum? So we need to study literature because of the following. First, you need to study literature because you need to learn how to appreciate words and their power. The words and power of the characters into the different forms of literature helps you make your own mission, vision, your goals, or even your belief as an individual. Another, you travel to other realms and times through the text they read. Through literature, you're going to the past, present, or maybe in the future. So it's like you're doing time traveling whenever you read literature. Next one is you understand about others' culture and others' perspective. Like the one that I have told you, you become open-minded on the different culture and understand them, and at the same time accept them. Accept who they are. Accept their values. Accept their culture. So, next one would be you empathize with characters to feel their joys and pain. When you are exposed to literature, you understand people. You understand how they, why they deal with that. Why is it their actions are like that? Because through different forms of literature, you are being exposed that the experience of the individuals have something or have roots. That's why you keep on understanding them. So the goal here is you feel them when you are exposed to literature. Next reason also is you learn to consider multiple perspectives and understand the complexity of human nature. You understand that there are always two sides of life. It can either be happiness and sadness, and then success and failure. So when you are already exposed to literature, you understand that pain, suffering, and all are just ingredients of life. And then as you go on at the end of your journey or at the end of your story, you understand that different pains, different struggles, and different problems are interconnected with each other that makes you and helps you to be a better person. Another one is literature also develop a sense of individuality and creativity. Through the exposure to the different forms of literature, you get values, you get the characterization of each character that they become your models, and out of that you become creative for yourself and you create a sense of individuality in terms of your decisions, in terms of your actions, like that. Another one is you learn skills of self-management. You learn how to manage yourself in different situations. You learn also how to deal with problems. You learn also how to deal with your actuations. So, self-management. Another one is you develop enduring values such as integrity, compassion, loyalty, and responsibility. The core of literature is to provide moral values to children, to students, or even to audiences. So, with that, being exposed with literature, you are being exposed also in molding yourself with values that includes integrity, compassion, loyalty, and responsibility. So those are the reasons of why do we need to study literature. And now, we'll now be moving with the key features of literature. So these are the key features of literature. These are the ingredients of the literature. First, literature is a form of communication. Writers and authors, when they want to communicate to the readers, when they want to say what they feel, literature is the answer. Another one is literature is an art. Literature is an art because even if the story is bombarded, complicated, and lots of things happening, when you are into the audience perspective, it becomes beautiful. Though lots of situations, scenes are happening into the scenario, it's still beautiful and interconnected. Another one is literature has the nobility of thoughts. Literature is a product of human's mind. So, product of ideas of the authors and the writer. Another one is timelessness. Literature way back then are still present today and will still be present in the future. Like the story of Jose Rizal or even the literary works of Excelsa, the next generation will still have the literary works of our heroes or even other writers still in the future. Another one is universality. The goal of the writers in making literature is they need to have a universal language. What do you mean by universal language? Their language should be understood by the readers because they try to write because they want to be understood. So that's it. They need to be universality, having a general message or having a language for all. So another one is literature has utility. Literature has its importance. Whenever they write, they do got a purpose. They do have a purpose in writing. So it may be to put remembrance, or it may be to awaken the mind, it may be to entertain. It depends on the writer. So literature has its utility. So I think that would be all for our topic for lesson 1 under nature of literature. So I want to end my topic with the following quote by Cassandra Clare. Only the very weak mind refuse to be influenced by literature and poetry. Are you a weak-minded individual that do not accept literature? It's up to you. Goodbye, and we'll see you again. I'll see you again for my next lesson.